Today, we're gonna share how we reinvented the digital experience at BAC, what worked, what didn't, and we hope some of these learnings will make your races feel lighter than before. So, our keynote is divided into two big parts. First, you'll gain deeper understanding on what are our obstacles in experience and also the best practices we are using to make it easier. And then at the end, we'll also share what future challenges we see coming ahead. Now, let's talk a little about us. We are part of a much bigger team of athletes at BAC. We are a total of 20,000 employees, and we are here representing all of them to share our experience. I am Jose David, manager of digital excellence, and at home, I am also manager of two cats, or at least I try to be, because they are the ones that manage me.
Hello everyone, I am Manuel Cascante, Digital Experience Manager. I don't have any cats, but I spend my time trying to visit all the wonders of the modern world with my friends.
What do we share between us and probably with most of you? It's our passion for serving our customers and create wow experiences. So, now let's talk about where we work in. We're proud to say that BAC is the largest private bank in Central America.
Wait, Jose, do you think everyone here knows where is Central America?
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, let's give some context for those folks who might think we're part of South America. So, we'll take a moment to go from Las Vegas down to Central America to understand, at least in terms of numbers, how complex and diverse this small region is, and also how different each of the customers we serve are. So, Central America is a small area if we compare it with most of US states. It is less than 2% of the world's surface. And our six countries cover a land area similar to California. And lastly, our customers vary widely. For example, in Costa Rica and Panama, GDP per capita is around $20,000, while the rest of the countries are under 5,000. We also know that in Central America, internet access is around 66%. So although we are trying to be digital leaders, this is quite a challenge. Why do we say we are experienced leader? So here are the stats that will give you a sense of how important is the whole customer experience for us and how important is the digital for our strategy. We have helped transform a traditionally non-digital region to one in which 65% of our customers are digital. Imagine there were just 35 only 6 years ago. And we also know our platforms enable movement of half of total Central America's GDP. And lastly, this might be the most surprising number, 96 of all our monetary transactions are now done digitally.
When we saw that 96%, we were shocked, but also extremely proud because it proves how strong back digital transformation vision has been. And now it's important to us that show you how we work to create and improve our digital experiences in back. Our process is based on a double domain concept, and it starts with a service design stage in which we explore and we validate some new hypotheses, followed by a deep research to identify which problems we must solve. And after that, the product design team will work in an iterative cycle until we validate our solutions with our real users. After that, we develop and launch that functionality. In this moment is when Medallia is very important because we need to know how has been our user experiences. So we are using Medallia to find bugs and identify them and solve them quickly. Also to identify usability insights that we have to evaluate with the product design team, and also to evaluate new functionalities or even new digital products that help our digital users. And now that you know a little bit more about us and how we work, we will share with you 5 best practices that have helped us to overcome every hurdle in this race. So let's dive into how we use the different type of service and the potential and tools like test analytics, DSA panel rating, and how we combine all of them looking for the same goal, creating memorable experiences that add value for our customers and for our users. So the first lesson that we're going to talk and share with you is to unlock powerful insights using content surface. And user experience, we usually say keep it simple, and that will be very important to this lesson. Just activating surface doesn't mean that your users will answer them. I mean, activate a new user, it could be a good start, but when we know exactly what we need to learn, we can ask with intention. So here, we recommend you to use embedded service at the right spot and use intercept service at the right moment. So in this first hurdle, we needed to understand if we were able to help our users. So this is an example for a health center, which is a site that we created to let our users to find solutions to their problems themselves. But we were interrupting them before they had even finished reading or understanding the information that we were presenting there. We can wait at the end of a transfer, at the end of payment to trigger an interface survey. We solved this issue, leverage the different formats that Mineral Digital Suite offers, and we tested placing a single question at the end of each article. And that simple question, and the result was that we received more than 121,000 more feedback just last year. And that is very important because this feedback helps us to identify which articles to focus on, to improve them, and then the result was that we reached 60% on the useful information rate. But it reinforces how important it is to choose the right survey at the right moment and to keep it simple.
And what is most important, Manu, that we now know what we have to do and to work to create the biggest impact for our customers. Second lesson, let's talk about how to prioritize what truly matters with text analytics. We use text analytics to understand what is affecting our customers the most. Text analytics is one of my favorite features from Medallia because it let us organize by topic each of the feedback that our customers are letting us and also have a clear score on how is it affecting our NPS positively or negatively. And with this, it's helping us to prioritize wisely, to create accountability, and to know what exactly fix first, second, and so on. So the question becomes, which opportunity is the more relevant? Because as many of you know, we have and we receive a lot of feedback. So it becomes very hard to understand which one will be more relevant and more impactful for the customers. So to answer this, we started creating insight rankings by each of the experience cluster. So in this case, the password recovery feature was having the hardest impact on the NPS, was a total of 4 negative points. So we clearly know that it was affecting our program, but we wasn't quite sure on how much it was. And also we think we were missing the message. When we saw this feedback that the customer were having, we understood it. For example, Dana Roman said, BAC is usually the best in customer experience, but having to go through this torture every 60 days is just awful. Why is that? Well, it was because regulations in El Salvador was forcing customers to change password every 60 days. So they were very, very angry. And also Salomon Morua in Panama told us, it is impossible to use, the emails never showed up, and it won't even accept the temporary password. This was because to safely identify our customers, we were asking them for a temporary password that we send in to the email. We started prioritizing quick wins with the development team that helped us increase our NPS by 38 points. And then we started to reimagine and transform the whole experience. So we partnered with our teammates in El Salvador for them to show the regulator how this measure was impacting our customers. And actually, they got it. They exceeded, and in 1 month, they increased the 60 days measure to a 6 months for the password recovery. So with this, and also by implementing biometrics verification, we eliminated the temporary password requirement. So the flow was very easier and quicker to complete.
Jose, and that's how powerful text analytics can be. And it could be a game changer in your organization. But we were excited because we have some announcements of AI today. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this powerful tool in our next lesson. Now we are going to show you how we combine and evolve the digital tools to drive high impact solutions. With all the potential that we already had, we needed to scale it. So We create a huddle in each country to go deeper into the feedback and to transform it into concrete actions. Then we propose that every huddle create a closed-loop process, and that enables two. Number one, to find a solution for a customer. Number two, to analyze what happened. Three, prioritize what really matters. And finally, to take actions. And then, with so much rich feedback, we discovered that we need to evolve as our topics in our text analytics as fast as the digital world runs. So we recommend you to update your topics at least once a year, but if you can do it twice, it will be better. Also, you can check your coverage to stay aligned with users are actually saying. And so let's recap. Creating huddles, closing the loop, and refreshing your text analytics allowed us not just to take isolated actions, but to create groups or clusters and help us to transform the feedback into real action plans. And here I ask, can we really transform insights into action plans? Well, of course we can, so let's see some examples. By grouping everything that we knew and everything that we had measured, we knew that we need to solve some issues at a scale. So in 2023, we present an study like this, and for the first time to our leaders, showing how security and product experiences were dragging us down almost 12 points on our shared NPS. We knew that we need to make big decisions. And the first decision that we took was integrate our security code into our main app. And before that, the user have to go and log into a separate authentication app, get a code, copy that code, return to the main app, and also finish the transaction. So that experience just added friction, but not security. So once we integrate this experience, it becomes simpler, and also even it created a positive impact in our NPS. This is how it works right now, and it will be very quickly, but now it's integrated. Another of our painful issues that we had in that moment was our credit card experiences. Credit card is one of our main products, so we have a lot of feedback here, and we identify many needs. So we decided to redesign the complete experience, and we add more than 12 new features. Now, as you can see, our customers can see the card, can buy on internet using the security codes, and also they can, with just one touch, activate or block the transactions. It's very different for the experience that we used to have. We also replaced the NPS question to a satisfaction one. We want to be sure that these changes impact positively and the people find it useful. So when we were sure about that, we changed it again into an NPS question.
And this change alone doubled on customer satisfaction. And surprisingly, we saw almost no resistance to change, despite this being one of the customer's favorite feature. Now let's see how to extract value from silence, how to discover the feedback we don't see through service. So with this, we are using DXA, which stands for Digital Experience Analytics. We were already learning a lot from our service feedback. But with DXA, we enable a whole new level to start learning from what our customers were doing in our platforms. DXA is a valuable tool from Medallia that allows us to measure in numbers what is the experience our customers are actually having by identifying more than 60 unique behaviors in our platforms. We were receiving a lot of this feedback. We politely call it low quality feedback because, as you can see, it tells us nothing. So Melissa Munoz in Costa Rica says, transfer aren't working, please fix it. Or Adrian Peña in Honduras is saying, I couldn't make a transfer. So we clearly know that something is wrong, but we don't know what, where, or what is happening. So this is where DXA can help us extract insights on complete or incomplete feedback that our customers are lefting us. It helps us analyze behavior, frustration pattern, technical signals, navigation paths, and more. So the question becomes, how can we go deeper? How can we find insights with zero meaningful feedback? So this is a session replay example, and it's one of the examples I like the most because it shows us how powerful DXA can become. So I'm going to replay the video. Please put attention. So as you can see here, our customer was trying to make a transfer, and once he started to complete the form, he was clicking to select the account, and as you can see there, he's multi-clicking. That is a behavior DXA identifies. And because of a technical issue, the component wasn't responding, so the person couldn't complete the form. And this was maybe the trouble that we saw in the messages. So I remember showing this exact screen recording to our CEO, and I remember how amazed he was because now it was so much easier for us to identify these kind of issues, and also because now we're gonna work on advanced behavioral analytics. And this example just took us 1 week to find it.
Jose, and it's important to mention that this bug was fixed in 2 hours, but it had affected our customers for weeks. We are going to talk about our last lesson. We are going to talk how to positively impact in how your new potential users perceive us using upgrading. For those who doesn't know about upgrading, is a small feature. The users win a quick in-app survey, and with that survey is connected to the app stores. That means that the stars ratings are directly connected to the App Store and Play Store. Here the user can leave and share their feedback based on the real experiences. Very interesting number is that 79% of the users check the app's rating before downloading a new app. And this is why app rating is extremely powerful, until it seems like a small feature, because it had a huge impact on your reputation, discoverability, and also your conversion. We have achieved strong ratings in the App Store and Play Store, but this will help other users to know how good are our experiences. So before we activate this functionality, I remember that we were stuck in 2 and 3 star ratings, but we don't know why and what was happening. And after we activate this feature, we are leading in 4 of the 6 countries, and in the remaining ones, we are almost near to the top. It is also going to mention that this feature is so easy to activate for your Digital Medallia suite. In a few minutes, you can have this function working in your own apps. This slide says that Medallia helped us to increase our digital NPS year by year, and it is true. But we really want to highlight here is not only the numbers themselves, but the story behind them. It becomes very clear. But didn't get here by accident. These results are outcome of years of listening and learning, and also improving our digital experiences based on the Medallia tools. And something that we deeply appreciate is that Medallia is always one step ahead. Every time that we have something to or on an issue to solve in a digital program, they always have the new functionality, the new capability, or even the new way to understand the users ready for us. And thanks to that close partnership, we achieved a 75 positive points on NPS last year. And this is a huge number because the average in banking and financial services is around 60.
And in this final part of our breakout session, we'll look at today's challenges, which we see as new opportunities to keep improving. The first one is a challenge we have with quarantines. For those who don't know, quarantines are the period where Medallia puts a customer once they completed a survey or if they refuse to complete a survey. So this is quite good if we want to avoid overserving customers, but in our case, was preventing us to have enough feedback from the less frequented sections. So now we're moving from one quarantine to several quarantines. So for example, if a user transfer a survey at the transfer cluster, we'll still be able to serve them in security, payments, and products. So this is gonna ensure us to have enough and relevant samples for each of the cluster of experience.
The number 2 is that we need to diversify our metrics. In finance, we said don't put all your eggs in one basket. And the experience measurement goes beyond the NPS. So we want to complement how we measure experience. And as we learn in the health center example, we can use another metric, like the useful information rate, to keep looking for new opportunities to solve and also to diversify our metrics. And this could help us to have better decisions, evaluating each one of our metrics. And maybe we have to create a new ones or our own metrics for some of our needs.
Yes, and as we were learning today, everyone has challenges with ROI and how to relate it with experience. We also have. So this one is a challenge we need to solve now. And the third lesson is about implementing new features. So we now know that Medallia has Medallia Video, which is a feature of Medallia Digital that allows us to receive from our customers video recordings or audio feedback. So, together with DX8, it will help us identify bugs and validate bugs, especially before we launch our new application.
Ay caramba, Jose, I guess that we just revealed one of our secrets, but it is true. So we're launching a new app. So it is important to mention that we have used over 500,000 comments to build these new experiences. And we also redefined the way that we were using Medallia to support the rollout in the internal pilot. And that means that we have been working on several months using Medallia to capture feedback and to capture bugs. And also, in the other side, we're using the essay to identify some behaviors, recreate some experiences, and also build, after these 18 months of hard work, we have to be very sure that the version that we are going to publish to our real users has to be perfect. Because I don't know if you remember in some slides before, we were talking about the app ratings. And now we have to compete against ourselves.
And yes, this is the first forum outside BAC where we confirm we are launching a new application. And so let's all keep the secret for a couple more months, please. And with this big revelation, we are reaching the final stretch that led us here to Las Vegas. So for today, we've reached the finish line that brought us here, a finish line we've crossed thanks to all the learnings from this race, where together with Medallia, we have been developing and improving our Voice of the Customer program. We'll also be working for Medallia for over 6 years, implementing all of the tools we just told you about. So although it's been a long journey, I would like to share with you one more lesson. Remember, it is not just about the tools. It is also about the culture, the processes, and how we keep everyone involved. And we truly hope this helps you overcome your own hurdles and get you closer to your own finish line. And remember, every finish line becomes a new start line.
If someone have any question or comments, or if you want to share with us our experience, this is the moment, and thank you so much for your attention.
You mentioned that you're using DXA to understand where issues are based on the feedback. Are you using DXA to look at anything else? So maybe experiences that you didn't get feedback on?
Yeah, sure. We are using the essay to identify behaviors. And so we identify that behavioral, then we go deeper into the sessions to identify those kind of stuff, because in some moment we have those low quality feedback or no feedback at all. So this helps us to identify this and solve it.
Yeah, I also remember another interesting example because we were having trouble with the biometrics verification in PCs because in some computers it wasn't allowing to launch the camera. So we set an alert to record this session and successfully identified what was the technical context of the customer that were having those trouble.
Hi, Jose Gutierrez, Experian Costa Rica.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, my neighbors. Guys, just a quick question. What's the number of days you recommend for a quarantine in any of the clusters?
Okay, that's a very good question. We start with 30 days, but we see that the people start getting annoyed, but how frequently the service we will intercept them. So we change it to 60, and then in some cases we are using 90 days.
Yeah, it is important to understand that if you have a short period for the quarantine, you can also avoid having enough service through time because everyone enters the quarantine. So you have to go to the middle so you can have not overserved people, but also have enough feedback in the whole period.
And some of our functionalities are like day-to-day functionalities like transfer. And if we use a quarantine. In transfer, we have to be sure that the period was longer because people used to transfer a lot. So in some cases, we can manage a smaller amount of days, but in these cases, we have to make it longer.
Yeah, and probably, as we mentioned, several quarantines could be also the answer to have enough feedback and to not overserve the people.
Thank you, Laura from Mexico. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's really nice to see you over there.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you something about not only the NPS from the digital journey. How do you complement the point of view of your customers, like a relational survey, or how do you know that the NPS from the digital app is the same NPS as BAC?
Yes, and that's an interesting question, but it is not the same NPS. We are saying that we will have recognition of the people in our digital experiences, but not always it's the same in the physical channel. So we are trying to get this together in our 360 profile. That is one we're working on. So we have some troubles, but we are trying to get this. In some cases, we don't know who is the user that is showing our rating or your NPS.
Yeah, and we're also trying to talk with the persons in the other programs
Yes.
for they to show us what is affecting digital or what are the customers saying in the agencies that are affecting the customers about digital or in the contact center. So we are trying to interchange information between programs.
And something important is that in our topics, in our data analytics, we have the digital topics, and we have also another channels like WhatsApp, like we have agencies and those kind of stuff, because we want to translate this information to the other teams, and they have the same. They have topics in digital that translate and they can move to us to know what's happening in that channel.
And also people deflect to branches when they couldn't make it in digital. So they also are showing us where are improvements for the platforms. Thank you and keep enjoying the experience.